Before we get started looking at the actual drawing and doing something on the page, I thought it would be a good idea in the introduction to take a look at some just sketch work and some line art and some examples of sculpting. So in this little section here, we're going to just take a look at a various selection of sketches that I've done, and we'll just have a brief chat about them. So here you can see these thumbnail sketches that I've done. One of the things that I do a lot when I'm working is archiving my work. So I'll do a typical little sketch like these you can see here, and then I will just save them onto my hard drive. And I will do this with every sketch. It doesn't matter if it's something that's really well developed or something as simple as this you can see on the side here, or these ones. They're all there to help me, and I always archive this work to help me in the future. If I have any kind of creative block or something like this, I just go through my past work and just look at reference material of other people as well as my own reference in my archive to try and get creativity flowing. So here are a selection of other ones. You can see here, this is a different type of sketch. It's a little bit more developed than the previous ones. But this character is, obviously it's kind of based on some sort of hedgehog. But it's a quite sinister hedgehog. We've got these kind of menacing eyes and elongated fingers with these long claws. But we've got some suggestion of these spikes on the back and this rather soft underbelly underneath. And when I finish this, I call this finished at this stage, and then I just save it and I'll put it away inside my folder, and in the future I can come back to it and start modeling or maybe develop the sketch even further. Let's take a look at another one. Okay, just an example of basic character work, really. A little bit of silhouette work going on, some construction. I believe this was for an actual project I was doing, and it was literally the first sketch that I did, and my brain was just empty. And I couldn't really think of anything to work on, so I was just really just doing this. It had no relevance to my project at all. I was just getting started, and this was just me just putting things down on the page to really warm up and to like an athlete has to warm the muscles up, you have to warm your brain up to start thinking. So I think this was just an example of just a warm-up exercise. We can see this sketch here, again completely different, and what's really great about this, even when I open it now to show you guys, is that it says something different to me every time I open it. It's, you know, now it's looking like some sort of crab thing to me, whereas before I think it was some sort of an alien type thing, and I was working on this. When I'm working, and the reason I'm so vague on what this actually is because sometimes I don't even know myself. Some projects like the one earlier you can see were based on, you know, I've been working on something with something in mind, and on this one in particular it's probably just something I'm just doodling, drinking a cup of coffee or something like this, and just playing around and putting something down. So, but when you open this up from your archives and you start to look again, you start to see all different things that you probably weren't thinking about at the time, and that's one of the beauty of doing this technique of just saving your doodles and your sketches and things. And don't be precious about them, don't think they're not good enough. Anything, just save and then come back to it at a later time. Okay, here's another one. You can see this is the only sketch that I did on this page, and at that point then I just stopped and saved it. I didn't crop the page, I didn't do anything other than it, so probably a waste of hard drive space because it's taking up too much uh, space for what it actually is, but there you go. You can see this one's based loosely on some sort of scorpion because of the tail at the background and over its head there. And then we've got these rather large muscular type legs, which is too muscular for a scorpion. And then of course we've got this rather strange face, as well as these spidery type legs on which are acting as fingers. So again, it asks many questions when you look at this again, and you can start to interpret this in many different ways when you look at it with a fresh pair of eyes. And this one is another example where it's obvious here that I've just been working at a very it's very blurry, and you can see I've probably rubbed stuff out here in the background as well, and used Gaussian blur maybe on this, but I've focused primarily here on the face, and this has softened this character up quite a bit, but you can see there's no real detail in this other than just some very basic forms. We obviously see that this is some kind of primate, maybe Yeti type character, but we've got some kind of suggestion of it being a female there with the long eyelashes. But there you go. Those are just a few examples of ways that I sketch and really just drop ideas down and archive those ideas, store them on your hard drive, and if you have a day where you're feeling, oh, I haven't got any ideas, you can either go and look at your reference material, or you can dip into your archive and just see if there was anything there that you did in the past that's relevant to the project that you're doing now.